Folks, welcome back. My name is Rudy. You're watching Alpha Investments. Sorry, I haven't actually filmed over here. I accidentally knocked my tripod over and messed up. But some of this new stuff I really wanted to kind of talk to you guys about. And we're in the middle of 2023, and we continue to see side effects in the unwinding of all the leverage, the money machine go burr, and the kind of decompression of the money was free 0% interest rate era. And we continue to see industries like graded video games, the WADA graded video game era and scandal and boom bust, whatever you want to call it. The side effects of that continue to just be awful. I mean, I still get random emails of people wanting to say, "Hey, Rudy, I've got some graded video games you're interested in buying. I see you have some Zelda video games in your background." I'm like, I bought the Zelda games for a couple $100 because I just wanted to have it because I liked it. It wasn't an investment. And some of these people are just down so much money. I mean, 20 grand for a graded game, and they think it's worth now maybe $1,000, down 95%. Just crazy stuff, man. And then now the new hot thing, if you guys aren't familiar, in the high-end luxury watch world, like wristwatch watches. In the fine watch world, you have your, Pateks and Philippes and APs and Rolexes and some of these big brands, but, all these other YouTubers and influencers, as with every boom and bust cycle, a lot of them will tend to come out as just straight up theft, fraud, and bad things. And so there's a lot of, you can Google that on YouTube, and you can see I don't really want to promote them or share anything like that. It blows my mind the amount of, I guess we can say fraud. I guess it's just fraud. And just misdirection of just bad, I don't know, what do we want to call them? YouTube gurus. Am I a YouTube guru? Get rich quick. Click the penis below. I don't know. But all these gurus and things, from selling the stock programs of how to make money on Wall Street, to how to flip luxury watches, to how to grade video games and flip them back, all this stuff that continues to just come to market. And not to mention all these thousands of crypto coins that went skyrocketing and then have all pretty much almost gone to zero. They're all down 90, 95, 99%. As we look back at this era, I think a lot of things have been learned, and that is, the age-old thing of people just spending money like crazy and over leveraging. I didn't realize how much leverage there was. Obviously now I got a lot of comments and feedbacks and patron messages ever since I started mentioning these PPP loans, Paycheck Protection Program stuff from the government in 2020, 2021. And I guess I poked the hornet's nest there because there's all kinds of conversation and people sending me messages and links to social medias and the Discords and Reddits and Facebooks and MySpaces and all that. And I guess I'm surprised that a lot of you are surprised. And if you haven't been through a big bull to bear cycle, if you haven't been through a full business cycle in life, maybe you're younger, or maybe you just didn't pay attention because you're just a normal person and you focus on living your personal life and enjoying things, and can't really fault you for that. This stuff happens a lot, and one of the biggest fallacies is when we come off of these insane bubble popping highs that are overly stimulated by sloshing and helicoptering free government money, 0% rates for longer than they should have been, and of course handing out billions of dollars in PPP loans that never had to be paid back. They aren't loans. It's just billions of dollars in grants and money that was handed out. Now, I'm sure many companies did use the money to actually pay their employees and make sure everybody was stable. But you know as well as I do, in the real world, that's most of the time that's not the case. It is estimated that some investigative news websites and fairy dust and making stuff up and whatever, it is estimated that between 30 and 60% of all PPP loans were fraudulent or just bought Lambos and magic cards and Ferraris and Bugattis and all that. What color is your Bugatti? All that stuff that we went through. And I think the toughest thing for a lot of people to remember right now is this downswing that we're in when it comes to like magic. Let's focus on magic for a second. It can last a lot longer than most of you all have attention spans for, and that you'll stay with the hobby or watch the videos, or like the average, again, Wizards of the Coast stated the average life cycle of a Magic player or collector is, I think they said, like 18 to 24 months. And the average person who gets into Magic and leaves Magic tends to come back to Magic between 2 and 3 times in their lifetime. So that means is that in a normal adult lifespan from the age of 18 to 69, that person is going to experience Magic the Gathering for 2 years on average, leave, and come back, and they're at least going to come 2 more times. Giggity. That is a little giggity. So I believe that. That sounds about right. But what a lot of people right now with the heavy bags and to the moons, all these terminologies and meme stuff from a while ago, a lot of people, and I get the messages because the collection, people wanting to sell me collections of vintage, new boxes, old boxes, vintage single cards, is still incredibly high. It's incredibly high. I would be lying if I said the amount of contacts of people wanting me to buy their collection of brand new sealed boxes, vintage sealed boxes, graded vintage Magic cards, their 7th edition foils. I don't know. You guys get the idea. Their commander decks. I get it all. It is a daily thing. And I apologize if I'm not able to respond to that email, AlphainvestmentsLLC@gmail.com. It's just the sheer volume. I have to kind of pick and choose what I feel has the most likely opportunity to go through and what has kind of the largest, more, I prefer transaction sizes that are between like 10,000 and like 100,000 range. So unfortunately, no disrespect, but some of you who come to me saying, hey, I've got 3 booster boxes for sale. They're Throne of Eldraine, because Throne of Eldraine is going to be hot again. Unfortunately, even if I paid you 70 cents on the dollar, okay, but like Throne of Eldraine is around 5 years old, so that'd be 65 cents on the dollar. Under 5 years old is lower. Over 5 years old, then the percentage goes higher. And obviously, like 90s boxes, it swings depending on the quantity, the size of the transaction, the condition, whatever. But it's probably in your best interest to just sell them on eBay, pay the 12% fees, and then just ship them off, because it's quicker, it's easier, auction it off, and make sure the auction ends at a normal nighttime hour, not a random 8 in the morning thing. I think that's really your best direction for most people just trying to sell a little bit. But the point of this video is that I guess I'm surprised that now we are seeing this turbulence in the Rolex, AP, Patek type of industry. The turbulence is unbelievable. Like, I've been watching some of these YouTube channels in volume of just like fraud. Just go on YouTube, type in scam, fraud, Rolex, scam. You'll see all this stuff. And apparently, even in the luxury watch world, in the last few years, like if a brand new Rolex was, 15 grand, everybody was on these wait lists to get the Rolex just to flip it on the market from 15 grand and pay tax. So they're into it for 16, and they just want to flip it for 25 or 26. And I guess a lot of these people didn't have the money. They were just trying to do a quick flip. And now that that's going away, apparently that market is, the wait lists are changing, things are shifting. And on top of that, apparently a lot of these YouTubers and influencers in the luxury watch world were doing consignments where people were just sending them all their watches. So there are other influencers, I guess you could say, who were holding hundreds of people's of watches without paying for them, and waiting for a buyer or consigning, and that person gets a cut. And, well, apparently this dude did sell a lot of them, and apparently, again, a lot of them, that's why I'm not giving any names or anything, but apparently the guy just blew all the money buying a Ferrari, Lambos, private jets, all the silly stuff that, hey, I'd love to have a private jet, just like the rest. Hey, if I was a billionaire, I would totally buy a private jet, but at the same time, if you're not there, you can't do that kind of stuff. You need to be responsible in the direction of, money is a very complex relationship. Money is a utility, and the problem is most people don't have good relationships with money. They come into money, they get an idea of the value of money, and they get addicted to that rush, that dopamine hit of going to Vegas, the big, $5,000 dinners, 50 grand in the casino and losing it, private jets, and if you have the resources and you've built something or you're at that level, knock yourself out. Honestly, I'm jealous. I'm hoping one day I can be a billionaire. Ooh, because I would love to experience that. But at the same time, I don't think it's respectful and the correct thing to do, trying to fake it, or I'm sorry, the flex economy, the fake it till you make it economy. And as interest rates continue to go up and stay up, these ecosystems continue to dissolve. And they're eroding down and going back to lower points of where they probably should have been. And in the world of trading cards, Magic, as we went up that big boom in 2021 with Magic the Gathering, Hasbro and Wizards ramped up the print runs as the economy and the spending and the stimulus ramped up. And we cannot fully blame Hasbro and Wizards for ramping up and trying to go after that capital and that money that's moving around, because we all did it. I did it. I was, I run sales to patrons every week. I've been buying and hoarding inventory and selling some to patrons, keeping some, selling some, keeping some, buying collections, hoarding things, Rudy. I've been doing this stuff for my whole life. But at the same time, some of these things were outrageous, to like the Wada video game thing. There should not have been a point that some sort of Mario or Zelda was $150,000 or $50,000 or $100,000 or $1 million. I just don't think those were real numbers. Now, of course, some of those were shill bids or fake or wash sales back and forth, between your left hand, your right hand, your left nut, But let's assume that people were injecting that kind of money. There had to be a point where people have to step back and say, dude, darts, dude. Yeah, it's up all night, I'm tired. And, it's one of those things where, I guess I'm not surprised, but I continue to be surprised of how widespread this is. I didn't realize how many ecosystems, and it was even like the vehicle market. Like if your family needed a new car, you wanted the new, baby Ferrari, the new Corvette. It looks really cool. I wish I had one. But, you call a Chevrolet General Motors car dealership, and like, oh yeah, you want that new $70,000 Corvette? It'd be $110,000. It's like, what? Yeah. We take the sticker price and we do adjusted market value. We add 50 grand to it. So hold on a second. So if I go to your dealership, and let's say I want to put 20% down and take out a loan on that $70,000 car, you're going to charge me $110,000 to $120,000 for that $70,000 car. And then I'm going to take a loan out that's greater than the value of the MSRP. And now the used car prices in the market's starting to go back to normal. And all these people are going to be upside down on these loans because they had to pay overinflated prices. And that principle and concept, it's scary. It's disturbing on many levels. When I see that stuff, I'm like, then when I see what happened with the Wada video games, I'm like, now this whole new thing I had no idea was this big of a thing. The luxury watch flex culture of these people with these $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, $1 million watches that everybody was flipping, selling, consigning, trying to take cuts in 5-10% and push up these prices. And now these watches and all these things are dropping 10, 20, 30, 40%. And ladies and gentlemen, if you buy a watch for $400,000 and it drops 30%, we're not talking, Rudy pounded you in the face. Well, your stepsister was stuck in the dryer. We're talking a $400,000 item dropping like 20, 30%. You're losing like a $100,000 price swing. But then it turns out the MSRP of what that watch should have been was only 50 grand. So it's like, and I know some are limited, there's more to it. I'm not smart enough to acknowledge the details of that, marketplace and the mechanics of the pricing. But from the outside, I'm going, maybe those of you out there look at me the same way. Look at Rudy, just an idiot. But it's just, to me, I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like, holy smokes, the amount of markets that are going through this boom and bust. This reinforces to me that, this resetting period that we started in 2022, this could last a long time. I tell those of you, I tell my viewers, the people in the comment section, I tell the patrons, sure, some items are still going to go up in value. There's going to be some new products. It's going to be successful. But overall, the whole to the moon, 10x in your money, waiting for the next crypto bull run, Rudy. Then I'm going to buy this tiny coin for a penny, and I'm going to 100x my money. I mean, I get messages on it all the time. And I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but I mean, yeah, I do think eventually we'll go into a bull market. But don't underestimate how long it can take for these times to reset. Many people told me that, like when you look at even Wall Street, we had the dot-com boom and bust of 99, 2000, 2001, Y2K. And then we went through another crash in 08 for mortgages and subprime and all that. And then in 2021, we went through that whole SPAC boom and bust with all these tech companies that never made a penny, boomed and bust. And a lot of people are saying, how could this happen? Well, technically 20 years ago, from 2021 to 2001, we went through a similar tech boom and bust. But, these things happen, but sometimes they're like 10, 20 years apart. There are eras in Magic's history, even vintage Magic cards, that the prices were flat or negative for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. Like there's periods from like 2001 to like 2007 that, real estate skyrocketed, the stock market skyrocketed, or the S&P 500. When I say the stock market, just the SPY, the S&P 500, and then, buying Alphabet, ABU, Four Horsemen, was like 1%. You made nothing. And you were an idiot if you did it. We've been through times where, again, these prices and these market cycles can go against you longer than you want to admit and I want to admit. But if you are not leveraged and you're not a moron and you're not watching negative hype culture and always angry, if you stay calm and focused, and you work hard, you save your money, you don't do frivolous, dumb shit. I mean, the opportunity to, this is an era of position building. This is an era where this is like an accumulation phase. I guess if you're on Wall Street and a stock is trending sideways and it's just in purgatory and, just doing what they do, the kangaroo market, it's just like this. It's an accumulation phase. And I believe ABU, Four Horsemen type cards, even sealed product. And I can say the hottest, I should put some stupid title in this video, because, even the hottest or the worst, crappiest products, Boulder's Gate, I don't know, Aftermath, Epilogue, and, I don't know, Mom Aftermath, and I guess, Commander Master set boxes, even the worst products in enough time frame are eventually going to go through some shocking moment of price adjustment or repricing. The killer item is that most people, just like on Wall Street, buying options and derivatives and contracts, it's not whether you're right or wrong. It's you're betting on when you're going to be right or wrong. And the timing is what kills people financially, not whether you're right or wrong. Hey, Rudy, do you think Tesla stock's going to go up? I'm sure one day it will go up. Rudy, do you think ABC, XYZ, to the moon, this and that's going to go up? Rudy, do you think this weird meme stuff? Rudy, do you think the S&P 500 is going to go up? I'm sure it will. But I'm not going to place a bet saying that, I don't know, Apple stock and Microsoft's and Google's and the Teslas, and I'm not going to predict when we're going to see a move. And, I see these things all the time, man. Like, we had that in the big NVIDIA stock move in the last, 90 days. And the amount of patrons of people like, oh, did you see NVIDIA? Oh my God. Yeah, it's an amazing thing. And the thing people don't understand is, if you look back from the day NVIDIA went public, there were stretches of years through that company's life cycle that the stock never went up. And actually, there's stretches of time where the stock was negative for multiple years in a row. And I'm going to say it to you all the same way I ask myself when I'm in the bathroom looking at myself. And I say, are you really going to tell me that you're going to hold XYZ stock for 3, 4, 5 years and lose money every single year, and you're still going to leave it? You're trying to pitch to me that Apple stock for $1 in the 80s. You're trying to tell me you're going to hold Apple stock, adjusted for pre-stock splits. You would have held Apple stock for 5 or 10 years and lost money every year and never made a dime for 10 years of your life? And you're trying to tell me, oh, I should have bought it back then. Human nature, I don't believe you, because human nature dictates that if something stays bad for so long, everyone has a breaking point and a point where they just say, what am I doing? And I've been through this conversation with myself many times. I'm currently going through this situation with Pokemon. I have literally all this turmoil, and you've been seeing these Pokemon videos, and wait till you see the next one. I just did another big one. I'm going in again, multiple pallets again. So I'm going to be approaching over 10,000, no, not 10,000 booster boxes. 2, 1, 4, 2, 3, okay, 6,000 booster boxes. A Pokemon, okay? That is, I mean, I don't care who you are. That is fucking massive. And it's scary. And people always say, Rudy, how do you sleep in that? Aren't you worried? I say, no. Because we have one shot in this world. And again, I tell you all the same thing. I'm okay being wrong, but I hate the feeling of missing out and not being involved because I was too scared. I'm okay to go with it. Nope, Pokemon went to 0. Well, Rudy bought into Scarlet Violet, and the last 2 sets went to 0. Hey, it is what it is. I'll run a patron sale for $1 a box. It's all going to 0. You know, I can handle that. But like I said, many times in my life, you know, I'm going through these conversations right now with Pokemon because Scarlet Violet base and Mr. P evolved and now this Obsidian. I mean, it's a joke to see, you know, we got some distributors trying to sell Pokemon box wholesale to a store for like $101 a box, plus 2% credit card fee, plus $10 handling fee. And, you know, everyone's like, oh God, just dump them, get them off the books. Pokemon is toxic. Fat Pikachu is never going to run on a treadmill. I don't fucking know. Whatever it is. I like Fat Pikachu. That's my favorite one. That giant Pikachu makes me happy. And, you know, I look at this stuff and I'm like 6 months ago, people were fighting in parking lots to buy Pokemon. They were pulling guns and attacking each other, and Target had to pull Pokemon because of the dangers. And here we are. Everyone's like, alrighty, I'm done. Pokemon's going to 0. And I'm like, I feel like Ocean's 11 or no, Ocean's 12. What was it? Ocean's 12? Somebody in the comments below, prove to me you're still watching this video this late. What's the movie in Ocean's 12 or 13 where they shake the casino? So they rake the casino and everybody makes a bunch of money, but then they're trying to shake the casino so that people cash out and don't lose it back. And they have something underground, they keep shaking it. So they're shaking the building in Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13, and they're shaking the building, and everyone just says, who cares? Throw the dice, who cares? I'm playing. And eventually they shake it so much, I think they say like, well, hit them again. Keep hitting them again. Hit them again, baby! And eventually they shake the building so much, everyone just runs. And it reminds me of that. I'm sitting here in 2023, like, really? Are we doing this again? Are we Pokemon? We are Pokemon Rudy's Bathroom 2.0? Fuck, we're gonna need a bigger bathroom, kids. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, I cannot believe we are repeating something that's so obvious. Why, if you're a store, if you watch this video to the end, tell me which Ocean's movie that was. Was it Ocean's 12 or 13 where they shake it? As always, folks, thanks for listening. I've been investing and collecting in also 18th, 19th century French, Italian, German, Austrian original oil paintings. This is an absolute beautiful painting back here. Absolutely beautiful. I'd say this is probably about late 1800s, probably about 1870 to 1890. And actually this one came from a university in the northwest section of the United States that was auctioned off, went through a big thing, and is such an amazing painting, and very proud to own that. And then some beautiful pictures over here from some of the canals in Venice and Italy and different things. And I'm all over the place. Again, I still never even got to show you guys the Lego collection. I got to do that too. But thanks for listening. Have a beautiful day, everybody. I assure you, the world is not ending. Do not focus on the YouTube channels that just spew negativity. The best thing about those channels is you just learn from their emotional state of mind. Like what they are wound up about, what they're attacking, what channel they're attacking, what store they're attacking, what distributor or brand or game, or they hate Magic, they hate Hasbro, they hate MetaZoo, they hate Flesh and Blood, I hate Final Fantasy, I hate Weiss, whatever it may be. The best thing about those type of people is you can learn from them. And historically, the people who are multiple steps ahead on the chessboard, you'll usually end up winning the long game. So in the short term, some of these negative people who do attacks or thrive on drama and things, you know, they may get a little views and clicks, and you kind of look at them sometimes like, what the hell are these people talking about? But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's important to plan your life out and play the long game, because in the long game, that's when you usually surprise people in the end. In the short game, you can always be ahead a few pieces on the chessboard. But in the long game, it doesn't really matter how many pieces you lose. It's about how the game ends. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Hope you learned something. Enjoy the beautiful art.